You work and save all your life for retirement. Time is here, but how do you know when or really if you can stop working? Joining us now is Alex Cabot. He's the Chief Quantitative Officer for the Wiley Group and the author of Your Handbook of Personal Finance. Thanks for being here.
It's my pleasure, Tracy. Thank you.
So I think over the last couple of years, a lot of people have faced the reality that they might have to wait a little bit longer to retire. Talk to me about that.
Well, with what people's retirement accounts have done since 2008, it's natural that people feel that they may need to work a bit longer to really make their retirement goals a reality. The most important thing, though, that we find is to really figure out what you're spending and what you need to spend when you retire. A lot of people who come to us before retirement really have no idea what they're spending. There's an old rule of thumb that you're supposed to spend 80% of what you're making now in retirement. That's a great place to start, but it's not comprehensive at all. Most people spend wide ranges. Some people spend much more. We have a few people that we know spend significantly less than that. So it's important to understand what your spending is before you start making decisions of really when you can afford to retire.
So, but then what if I decide, okay, now I can work for the next 10 years. That should be good. What do I need to keep in mind?
You need to keep in mind a couple different things. Number one, that as you get closer to retirement, the impact of swings in your portfolio are much more significant.
Right.
When you're in your 30s and even your early 40s, you can take a big loss and still be able to make it back in time before you retire.
Which means you can be aggressive.
Right.
You need to start pulling back a little bit the closer you get to retirement.
Exactly. So at 10 years or so to retirement, it really is time to start thinking about reducing some of the risk in the portfolio, maybe moving some of the stocks that you have in your retirement plan to bonds, maybe a little bit to cash at some point, and just reducing the amount of volatility you're taking and give yourself kind of a softer landing into retirement.
Same thing as I get closer, 5 years, even more so, right?
Usually that is a good thing to do as well. 5 years out, you really need to focus on what am I spending, what am I saving right now, and how are my assets allocated. At 5 years out, it's about the time where you really need to start talking to somebody, a professional, about it if you're not capable to do the calculations yourself. And many people aren't, so that's why financial advisors are out there. They're out there to help you make those decisions.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
It's my pleasure.